Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kausacharora Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. All right, so today will be the last words of chapter 2, okay, which will be verse 72. So, in the chapter 2, we are discussing that Sthita Pragnasya ka bhasha, but just for the record, let me see. Okay, I just want to share with you. Okay, so the chapter 2 was started on 29th of March 23. Okay. 29th March 23. I just wanted to share with you. 29th March 23, 24, 25. Of course, in between there was lots of, I would not say bunking. Yeah, but I took off some reason, right? So it took more than 2 years if we count even that. The clear word as per Sanskrit, when I did not conduct the class, as per Sanskrit term, it is known as anadhyayan. Adhyayans mean to learn. Okay, so there was no learning in those few Wednesdays. Anyway, all right. Verse 72. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. Nainam Prapya Vimuhyate. Nainam Prapya Vimuhyate. Sthitva Syamantakaalepi. Sthitva Syamantakaalepi. Brahma Nirvana Mruchyate. Brahma Nirvana Mruchyate. O Parth, such is the state of God-realized soul. Having attained this state, he overcomes delusion. Being established in this state, even at the hour of death, he attains Brahmic bliss, identification with the absolute state. Brahmic bliss means identification with the absolute state. So, In this verse, there is description of a person and his condition as a result of being free from desire, thirst for necessities of life, the sense of mind and egoism, and then Bhagwan closes the subject of Sthita Pragna. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. This is the Brahmi state. See the state. The state of a God-realized soul. On being free from egoism, individuality is completely wiped out, and then a striver is automatically established in God. You know, if I have to underline one word here, is what it says automatically. Means it just happened. It just happened. It happens. It happens on its own. And that's why so many times in our Gita class I have mentioned that, okay, there are some great souls who even celebrate the realization day. It just happened. And when it happens, one does not need to disclose. Just be in that state of mind. Be in that state of bliss, absolute bliss. That's it. So, but how it's possible? On being free from egoism, individuality is completely wiped out. Because then it's totally oneness with absolute supreme being. Then person does not lack for anything. Person does not have any desire. Person does not have any feeling of mine. Neither my nor mine. Okay. So, is automatically established in God. Individuality persisted only. Look at this, the reason is given here. Individuality persisted only due to affinity with the world. So, to achieve this state, Sthita Prajna gradually try to keep himself free from all the worldly matter. Due to affinity with the world, with renunciation of affinity, individuality is completely gone. Friends, so many times I have told you, so many times I have shared with you that we can start from some angle, some corner of our life. Complete renunciation as the, I'm not using the all the present guru or anybody, but I'm using the word complete renunciation for the sages. Okay. It might be easy for them. And it's not that easy for us because we are living in the world of reality. We have family, we have business, we have work, we have relation to maintain. And so many things. And that's why I am using this phrase from some corner of my life. If we can put in practice and gradually increase that. I was just reading one article not today, in last maybe few days. The person has mentioned that he, I think the person who has written this article is above 70 or something like that. So he wrote in his article that I have stopped myself going and visiting anybody's place or anybody's house. So gradually try to detach. Gradually. So there are so many ways that we can start, but we have to start. We have to start. If we need to reach the Cape Town, okay, take Kimberley, Garden route, Bloemfontein, whichever route. But we have to start. If we don't start, then it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, with renunciation of affinity, individuality is completely gone. Here, they have used the word or term Esha. Esha means very near. It denotes the expression vihaya kamanyah, giving up desires, nispruha, free from thirst for necessity. In previous verse we were checking, we were trying to understand this. Nirmamo, free from sense of mine, and nirhankara, free from egoism, used in the preceding verse. Right? Now, having heard the Bhagwan's declaration, when your intellect transcends the mire of delusion and confusion, by hearing conflicting doctrines, you will realize union with God. Now, Arjun was inquisitive to know about that state of union with God. That's why he has asked the question in the 54th verse. Sitapragnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshavah sitadi kim vasheda kimasita vrajeda kim. There was the question. There were the question. So Arjun raised these four questions in order to know the marks of a man of steadfast wisdom. Sthitapragna means steady in wisdom, steadfast wisdom. Having answered those four questions, the Bhagwan declares here that this is a state of Godhood, union with God, merging the individual self to the universal self, the supreme soul. In this state of eternal union with God, that in the 15th chapter, when we will reach, okay, Bhagwan has mentioned very clearly, Yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Yad gatva na nivartante. Those who have gone that place, tadhama, don't have to come back. That is my place. That is my abode. That is my Vaikuntha. So, in this state of eternal union with God, no individuality remains. Only then what remains? Divinity pervades. Individuality gone, divinity pervades. In order to point out this important fact, the Bhagwan addresses Arjuna as Partha. Partha, one of the names of Arjuna. Nainam prapya vimuhyati. So long as a man has egoism, egoism means the feeling of I in the body, he is deluded. Lack of discrimination between the real and the unreal is delusion. The man's self being real. If he identifies himself with the unreal, this identification is delusion. So, Swami Ramsukdasi try to explain us what is delusion itself. This identification is delusion. If he identifies himself with the unreal means body. Body is not me. If I try understanding that this body is me, then it's delusion. When the striver knows the unreal as unreal, his affinity to it ceases. So the striver, the seeker, the devotee needs to understand unreal is unreal and real is real. But what happens in our case? We think unreal is real. Like a dream. Okay? In dream, okay, I mean, we all are in material world, so let me give you the material words example. Okay. In dream, I won the lotto. but the moment we wake up, lotto gone. And now, in waking state, if we still think that I won the lotto, and if we start behaving like that, if we start communicating with other that I won the lotto, be it 1 million or 20 million, people will say, now this man is gone. Isn't it? So, we need to understand real is real and unreal is unreal. So, by knowing the unreal as unreal, a man becomes free from it. Because we understand that was a dream. That's fine. That was a dream. We were in the state of mind. That was dream. Of course, I mean, we need to dream for the future. It's totally different subject on its own. And if we dream for certain goal for ourselves, and we put our all efforts on it, definitely nobody can stop us to achieve that dream or that goal. That I'm not talking about that dream. I'm not talking about that dream. I'm giving the example about real and unreal in that context, okay? So, because in fact, the unreal has no existence. The unreal seems to exist in the light of the real. If a person does not become free from the unreal, even after knowing it as unreal. It proves that he has not actually known it. Right. So, and he realizes that he is already established in the real. With this realization, he is never deluded. That Bhagavan has more explained this in the fourth chapter in the verse 35. Okay. Sthitva sya mantakalepi brahmanirvanam ruchyati. The human body has been bestowed upon man. For what reason? For God realization. I always tell you, we just take it for granted. If we ask ourselves why Bhagwan has granted human body for me, there might be some reason. There is a reason behind it, but we forget. It is okay, it's not right, but it's okay when we go to shopping mall and buy something else what is not needed and come back. And when we come back at home, man, I forget to buy. Then we can still go again next day. In that context, I use the word, it is okay, not right. Okay. But we are in this world, and if we forget for what reason Bhagwan has granted it human life for ourselves, then there will be no another chance. I mean, it's doubtful. We don't know. We don't know whether this human body or this life will be granted again or not. We don't know. We don't know. So, the human body has bestowed upon man only for God realization. So, in this world, we must not forget the purpose of my being in this world. It 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 looks nice to watch or to listen to that James Bond movie, You Only Live Twice. In fiction, it may be, but for us, of course, it was a good movie. I might have watched it maybe 35 years back. So that's a different story. Sthitva syamantakaalepi brahma nirvanam ruchyate. The human body has been bestowed upon man only for God realization. So, the Bhagwan gives an opportunity. So, Bhagwan has granted an opportunity to who? Even to vilest sinner, to attain him by establishing himself in him. Sin, pap, okay? The same thing Bhagavan is going to tell in 9th chapter. apichet suduracharo. That will come sometime in 9th chapter, maybe after few years. Doesn't matter if he or she is papi, but he can still work, he can still walk on the path of God realization. So, to attain what it says, even to vilest sinner, to attain him by establishing himself in him, even at the time of death. Even if the time of death. Antakale cha mamiva smaran muktva kalevaram. That words also will come. By breaking off his affinity with matter, matter means world, material world. By breaking off his affinity with matter, Bhagavan Krishna has also announced it again in 7th chapter. What it says, one who knows my integral being, comprising, it's described as adhibhuta. It's a technical word. Adhibhut means the field of matter. Adhidaiva means Brahma, and Adhiyagna, the unmanifest divinity. Then when it comes to the 7th chapter, we'll try to understand more. Even at the time of death attains me. Similarly, he also announced again in 8th chapter, right? He who departs from this body thinking of me, as I told you, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Kalevaram is body, okay? From this body, thinking of me alone, even at the time of death, attains me. There is no doubt about it. Now, the question arises, okay, because Bhagavan has told, Andhkalechamamaswaran muktva kalevaram, at the time of death, if the person remembers me, he will be liberated, okay. Is it that easy? Is it that easy? Because we will only remember if we have put this to remember God all the time, put this in practice. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. If we have thought all the time about market and business and family and progeny and siblings and then at that time we'll remember only that. And that very reason, the great man, the saint, emphasize on namasmaran, chanting the name of God. You can choose any name which you can feel connected. If I have to tell something in that context, I will say try to choose the shortest name, which is easy to chant and to chant with correct pronunciation. Of course, when it comes to devotion, even if you pronounce wrong, doesn't matter. But the saint or the sages has emphasized for the Namasmaran. I I have not heard, I have not read about mantra smaran. Because for the mantra, when I say mantra, be it Gayatri mantra or be it Mrutyunjay mantra, Mahamrutyunjay mantra or any mantra, I'm not against of that because I'm also doing that. But that you have your certain time to do that. Whereas Nam Smaran has absolutely no border. One can do at any time. Any time. You can say Ram, 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 Ram. Shiv, 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 Shiv. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Jayambe, Jayambe, Jayambe. Durga, Durga, Durga. Vitthal, 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 Vitthal. Anything, anything. If you choose the small, then it's easy for us. So at least, now, as I told you earlier, we need to start from some angle, some corner of our life. Is it hard? Is it too complicated to put in practice? If I say, okay, keep on chanting Gayatri Mantra all the time, you may not be able to do that. But Ram, 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 Krishna, 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 Narayan, 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 Shiva, 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 Durga, 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 Jayambe, Jayambe, Jayambe. It's still possible. Not to say that is impossible. Those who can, they can. That's not impossible. But the whole idea of describing this or sharing this with you, from some corner of our life, we must start. So it's only possible we can remember at the time of final exit. If we have put this in our practice, otherwise we're not going to remember it. It's not possible. And for this kind of things, it's never late. We can start from today, from now. So, in that context, Bhagavan has mentioned, he who departs from this body thinking of me alone, even at the time of death, attains me. There is no doubt of it. Bhagavan has mentioned this. Bhagavan has promised, in fact, you can say. But that's only possible if we have done this in our day-to-day practice. I wouldn't say throughout the life, but day-to-day practice. If we do that, then it will just come. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. So, by the above expression, Bhagavan declares the glory of the Brahme Sthiti, Brahme state, Godhood. By being established in this state, even at the time of death, one attains Brahma. As the Bhagavan declared about equanimity, that even a little practice of it protects one from great fear of birth and death. Bhagavan has told this. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhavat. In this chapter, second chapter, Bhagavan has told. So he declares here that if one gets established in this Brahmi state, even at the time of death, by breaking off his affinity with matter, he attains Brahma. Attachment to matter, non-self, is the only obstacle to the attainment of this state. If a person renounces the attachment, even at the time of death, he realizes his real state of Godhood. Okay. So, friends, we're going to stop today. We will see more next week. Okay. In today's discussion, whatever we like, whatever you understood, whatever you enjoyed, credit goes to all the great men. The scripture, whatever I have heard, I have read, I have understood, I just try to share with you. Absolutely, absolutely nothing belongs to me. As we know, our main reference book is Sadhak Sanjeevani by Swami Ram Sukhdas ji. Okay, so 73rd verse of chapter 18th. Nashto moha smrutirlabdha tat prasadan maya achyuta sthitosme gatasandeha karesye vachanan tava.